Just waiting for the live stream to begin. Hi, everybody. We're doing a POTUS report today, and I want to just test and make sure that the audio is working okay. I think it's working. I didn't announce this in advance. I just planned on doing POTUS reports live on Friday nights. I just want to wait for, I guess, a few people to roll into the room. It's been an insufferable day. I think it's a full moon tomorrow. I don't know. I feel it tonight already, to be honest. It's quite insufferable, honestly. So we're just going to hang tight together and see if we can make it through. I'm going to set up my pages here for the reports, and hopefully we'll get moving along okay on that. There's some really, really long transcripts in here. I'm definitely not going to read through them all, but everybody can try to, go to the blog. You could read them for yourself if you like to. New blog. So it's all out of order now. This has just been the kind of day that it's been. So I'm just going to do this. I'm recording it. If you join me, that's wonderful. 8 o'clock Friday night, I do my POTUS reports live. So I'm just going to continue. I'm going to continue doing that. So I'm going to keep going. Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Louisa. This is the GoldFish Report. This is GoldFish Report number 439, and it's week 159 POTUS report. This is the 159th week the president has been in office, and we're going to go over the activities of the president for the past week. As everybody knows, the big news is obviously the acquittal of the president of any wrongdoing in the impeachment hoax, the second hoax that the Democrats perpetrated on not only the president, but on the American people. I think they deserve to be held accountable. They wasted taxpayers' money at such an extreme degree. I think we need to hold them accountable at this point. That's our job, actually, is to hold them accountable. So we're going to, we really ought to do that. So I'm going to start talking about, the first thing I want to talk about is this new scam that's going on. Okay, so it looks like Apple is calling people to inform them that there's a security breach in their iCloud, and it's very urgent. The Apple ID on the phone says, the caller ID on the phone says it's Apple calling, when in fact, and then they call again and again and again. So, hi, Georgia, how are you? Yes, this full moon is, I'm insufferable. I've been insufferable all day. I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to go live because I've just been, I don't know. It's been difficult to tolerate myself today. So, I really get affected by the full moon. I mean, I'm not a lunatic or anything, but I do feel, the effects of the moon for sure. So we're talking about something that is happening in the New York, New Jersey area. They're calling and saying that you look at your caller ID and it says and it says Apple Inc. on it. Okay. And they call several times. And I said, oh my God, this must be very important. They're like, oh, there's a security breach and your information may be compromised. And I said, okay. And it's not that it's uncommon that would happen. And they called back 3 times, and I really thought that, something was important. Yeah, glad you have an Android. I have one too, but I wasn't using it. This computer I'm using is a Mac. And I want to warn everybody out there today, just let me put this warning out there, that Apple's never going to call you unless you ask them to. So don't take any calls from Apple. If you're in the New York, New Jersey area, there's a major scam going on, because then they get you to install the software to let them remote control your computer. And then they say, well, you have to cancel your cards because your private information is going to be compromised. They get you in your PayPal or your whatever banking you have, and you're like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't let these, it's a scam. That's what's happening. And so hackers are hacking. They're doing cloning of phone numbers, and they're also being extremely deceptive with, they're hacking Apple's website. So when you see Apple, trying to contact you, and they're interacting through an Apple website, you think it's really happening. And I'm telling you, folks, I was like, I was very, very, I want to put an alert out there, and I want them to catch these guys. They are committing crimes, and it needs to be reported, and it needs to be stopped. They're buying, what they're doing is, once they get a hold, I'm sorry, once they get a hold of your banking or your PayPal information, they go to buy.com, and they buy these credit cards. Now they have the order already ready. They already have your name and address and phone number and everything. They already know all this. Hi, Maria from Maryland. Nice to see you. Nice for you to join us tonight. They already have all your information somehow. They get it. They tell you that the hackers already have this, and it's all compromised, and your identity's compromised. And then next thing you know, they're charging things to your credit card. They're buying eBay gift cards on buy.com. If you see this, folks, it's a scam. Take screenshots. By that time, they're already remote controlling your computer, and it's too late. So you have to report this. They're committing crimes. People think that that this is really Apple because the caller ID says Apple, and also they're using an Apple website to interact with you. But in fact, it's all fake. It's not entirely an app. If I were Apple, I would be very concerned, because they're infringing not only on their copyrights, but they're also defrauding their customers in their name. They announce themselves as an Apple tech. They tell you that they are working in security. And let me just say that, people need to beware. So without further ado, let me continue with the POTUS report. I'm going to screen share, as I usually do, our blog. Let's go to the date that I want to start sharing. Hold on a second. Yeah, February 3rd. As everybody knows, closing arguments, there were 0 crimes, 0 wrongdoing. I'm going to screen share for everybody. Right now, I'm not going to be able to interact with viewers right now, because I'm using my whole screen when I screen share, but I'm going to just go down the list here. Look, 0 plus 0 still equals 0, in case the Democrats didn't get the message. Okay, so 0 crimes. Make sure my volume's up. Yeah, 0 crimes, right? 0 wrongdoing. Results equals 0 bipartisan support. It was a completely political hack job, and we need to hold them accountable. So what we have is, obviously Democrats that don't know how to do math. So, you can't have, there was no quid pro quo unless it was about Joe Biden. Then there would be a quid pro quo, which we know that there was. So I'm glad to see it all go. I was, of course, reporting that live when I was watching the votes, when it came in, and it wasn't surprising. Again, here we have Ivanka Trump helps lead historic summit on human trafficking. This is really wonderful, because we really need to end this human trafficking, child trafficking, all of this. It's horrendous. And the administration, at least, is dedicated to eradicating this. So at the chagrin of the criminals. So here he says that my administration is 100% committed to eradicating human trafficking from the earth. And he used those same terms I use. So here it is. People around the world, an estimated 25 million people around the world are being held captive, manipulated, and abused by human traffickers today. In addition to locking away these criminals, the Trump administration has prioritized more funding for anti-trafficking efforts in the 2021 budget, allocating $70 million toward enhanced prosecutions. That's good. Looks like there's going to be a lot. That's a lot of money to devote towards this. Is obviously a very big problem, which is why we need the wall. Here you have the president and first lady at the Florida Atlantic University marching band observing them. So let me just move along to the next page. I'll stop sharing and then reshare just so I can check in with my viewers. Hi, Phoenix. How are you guys? Hi, Chris. Nice to see everybody. Thanks for being here with me. So I'm not alone. This is date night. Friday night is always date night with the GoldFish Report. So I can't not go without my POTUS report. I just can't do it. We just have to do the POTUS report. So let me keep going here. I'm going to screen share. Actually, that's not the screen that I'm looking for. Hold on one second. Here we go. I have to cancel that. Sorry, just trying to get I have lots of windows open. So here we have for February 4th, we have the president announced his intent to nominate and appoint individuals to key administration posts. So here we have the president announcing Lorenzo Candelaria of New York to be the member of the National Council on the Humanities. We have Tony Hammond of Missouri to be member of the Board of Trustees of the Harry S. Truman Scholarship Foundation. So that's interesting. If you want to go to college, look that up and see if you qualify for that. Today, President Trump announced his intent to appoint the following individuals to other posts. We have Commission on Presidential Scholars, and member of the Board of Visitors to United States Naval Academy. So go to the blog, check it out, guys. Here we have, we know, if everybody watched the State of the Union, which is, of course, the big news this week, not just the impeachment hoax, the quid pro quo, but of course the State of the Union, which was huge. Let's just take a look. Who are these guests? We had Tony Rankins from Cincinnati, who after serving in the United States Army in Afghanistan. Tony Rankins suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder and became addicted to drugs. He lost his job, his family served several prison sentences, and ended up living out of his car. It's so heartbreaking, It's so heartbreaking that our veterans, our servicemen, our patriots come home to this condition, and this is just horrible. It's unacceptable. We need to take care of our veterans. We need to take care of our soldiers. They're over there fighting for our lives, for goodness sakes, folks. Okay, a company called R Investments helped train Tony in carpentry, painting, brickwork, and other construction trades. Yeah, that's great. Today he works in an opportunity zone in Cincinnati, Ohio, and his new job has helped him overcome drug addiction and reunite with his family. That's what it's about, folks. The president wants to take care of our veterans. He's very pro. The president went to military academy when he was younger. And he's rebuilt our military. I mean, he completely believes in our military for the right reasons, of course. Let's keep going. Deputy Chief Raul Ortiz from Del Rio, Texas. You can go to the blog and take a look at all of this. And of course, Jody Jones from Farmersville, California. Just come take a look. There's too much stuff to go through, folks, for me to read every one of them, but you can go to the goldfishreport.blogspot.com and you can look at all of this yourself. So you can, look at the details of who these people were who were guests at the State of the Union. Here we have, of course, the president's very pro-life, and this was a 2-year-old girl who was obviously very sleepy that night, and she was falling asleep on her mother, it looked like, but she was born very premature, and she has the right to life, and she's living, and she's, and her mother is very, very happy. Wouldn't have thought of doing it any other way. And, Janaya has won a scholarship here for low performing schools. So she's getting her, yep, for her, she was awarded the opportunity to go to a school of her choice. That's great. So all these really great, stories, and this is what the president is doing to change America and make America great again. Let's keep moving along. 11 nominations sent to the Senate. We have more district judges. This is great for Virginia here. I'm not going to read them all. You can go, I'll just tell you the states. You can come to the blogs, the goldfishreport.blogspot.com. You can read it all for yourself. But look, we've got new judges now in Florida, in Virginia, in Michigan. Yes. Oh, that's a new United States Marshal. United States Federal Courts for Maryland. Of New York, United States Marshal for Eastern District of New York. We have Judge, United States Court of Federal Claims. This is great. I mean, the president's he's really hitting it out of the ballpark. He's really reconstructing our judiciary and appointing judges that are going to uphold the Constitution, who swear an oath to the Constitution, not like some of the traitors that we have now who are not defending and interpreting the law, interpreting the as per the Constitution. We have some bad apples out there. We have a lot of good apples out there who are trying their best. I understand that, but there's those who clearly aren't, and it's time to drain the swamp. Okay, we have Virginia, we have Arkansas. More marshals, U.S. Marshals. Whoa, look at this, folks. He's not fooling around, this president. United States District Court for District of Alabama. We have Illinois and Texas. Hallelujah. I'm going to be doing a special at some point about the justice in the judiciary in America, some of the really, really deep problems that affect really destroy the infrastructure of our society. And we're talking about the corruption that exists within the family court system. And it's not only the family court system, it's in the juvenile court system, it's in the criminal court system. Once you end judicial immunity, then things are going to change very quickly. You can't protect the criminals. If the criminals are all in positions of power and you give them immunity, well, then they're going to rule with complete corruption, absolute corruption, right? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Isn't that right? So we need to, hold their feet to the fire. They need to be held accountable if they're not going to follow the law. Justice is for sale in America, and that has to end. So we'll do a special on that at some point. Let's take a look at West Wing reads. And this might be recapping what we just talked about, but of course the president has his job approval rating hits new record highs. It's, take everything with a grain of salt, because these polls are always, you have to consider the source. But there's no question his polls are outrageous at this point. When you go to the Trump rallies, you tell me what the difference is. When there's 20 people in a small, I don't know what you would even say, an auditorium, maybe 50 people at a Democrat rally. There's clearly signs of trouble. There's clearly signs that we need changes in our political system. We need to do what Putin did and throw everybody out. That's what we need to do, and get brand new people in there and let Jim Jordan pick them, because he's got the right ideas. That USMCA trade deal is done. We reported on that last week, and other good stuff. Go to the blog and read about it. And there's more links here, so you can go and read into more detail. More announcements to nominate individuals. We have Craig Edward Lean of the District of Columbia to be Inspector General at the Office of Personal Management, Inspector General. I'm sorry, I thought I was reading Postmaster. Must be, it's the full moon. I'm telling you, it's the full moon tonight. I almost didn't do this live because I had a tough day. Let me tell you, it was tough. Okay, so you can go here and check this out. Okay, we also have a presidential declaration, disaster declaration for Northern Mariana Islands. In case you didn't know, it's a U.S. territory. So you can take a look. This was after super typhoon Yutu. Okay, Yutu looks like Yudu, however they pronounce that. Okay, forgive my ignorance. Okay, so and there we have that. So let's just move along then to the next date that we have. I'm going to check in and say hi to everybody. Hi, everybody. How are you? Hi, guys. Nice to see you. Yeah, it was a rough day. Wasn't it a rough day for anybody else? Considering it was a Friday, we should be pretty happy. Is anybody else? Oh, let me just say hi to everybody. Hey, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Let's keep going on the POTUS report. Because I know, why don't you guys tell me in the chat section what you thought about the State of the Union and what you also think about let me know what you think about the impeachment, the exoneration of the president with this fake impeachment. Has everybody had enough ad nauseum of the fake hoaxes by the Democrats? Is it very clear? Are we really clear, folks, that we have we have polar opposites in terms of agenda and policy when it comes to the Democrats and the Republicans? I think it's very clear that this president is very dedicated to making America great again. He's very dedicated to removing corruption. And I think as the president ended his last Trump rally and his last speech, the best is yet to come. And I think he's absolutely right. And you should take this president at his word too. If he says the best is yet to come, he means it. When he said, "I'm draining the swamp," he meant it. He meant it. And he's doing it. He's doing a great job. Does that mean, I agree with everything he does? No, it doesn't. But that doesn't mean you throw the baby out with the bathwater. I think he's doing a fantastic job. Hello from Sweden. Boy, you're up late tonight. Delacroix, thank you for joining me. Yeah, of course. That was outrageous that Nancy Pelosi's, that really shows bad faith. What a sore loser. But folks, get ready. I mean, there's going to be some major arrests. Please let me know what you think. I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to continue with the reports for the week, and then I'll be back to chat with you guys for a few minutes. So let's screen share this because I'd like to get the news out. So what we have, Senate acquits President Trump, which we were just talking about. Of course he was acquitted. Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham issued the following statement in part. The Senate voted to reject the baseless articles of impeachment, and only the president's political opponents, all Democrats, and one failed Republican presidential candidate, voted for the manufactured impeachment articles. In what has now become a consistent tradition for Democrats, this was yet another witch hunt that deprived the president of his due process rights and was based on a series of lies. Throughout this wholly corrupt process, President Trump successfully advanced the interests of the United States and remained focused on the issues that matter to Americans. He spent his time achieving real victories for the people of this country, and the Democrats once again have nothing to show for their fraudulent schemes. I'm surprised they haven't made any statements about the fact that it is fraud and it's defrauding us, the taxpayer, who's footing the bill for it. And I really think at some point there's going to have to be these people have to be held accountable. There's no question about it. Let's move along. President Trump's State of the Union address made his priorities clear. It's time to put the partisanship in Congress behind us. One of the most important lines from his speech last night or the other night reminds our leaders who they're here to serve. It's not their donors. It's not each other. It's not the sensational corporate media. It's clearly the American people. Members of Congress, this is a quote by the president, "We must never forget that the only victories that matter in Washington are victories that deliver for the American people." So there's a link here you can click, and you can read the press secretary's full statement regarding this. You can also view the clip from the moment of the Senate acquittal, the moment the Senate acquitted President Trump. And of course, the best is yet to come. This is exactly what the president said at the end of his State of the Union. And what an amazing State of the Union. I mean, just listing one accomplishment after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next. He was just an amazing, he's working so hard for the American people. He really is. I would say in other years, I wouldn't, you know, I would be more skeptical, but just knowing what's going on here, knowing that the QAnon had to be involved in this whole draining of the swamp, they had to inform us of that this was going on, why it was going on, and that this is what's this is what's forthcoming. This State of the Union was unforgettable as President Trump told the great American comeback story that's unfolding across our country. Jobs are booming, incomes are soaring, poverty is plummeting, crime is falling, confidence is surging, and our country is thriving and highly respected again, the president said. America's enemies are on the run. And they are. America's fortunes are on the rise, and America's future is blazing bright. On the issues that matter most to most working families, from fixing our broken trade deals to rebuilding our great military, President Trump has kept his promises. Some of the best examples of those results came from the special guests who joined the president and first lady. Here's just a few of their stories. We had Charles McGee, the 100-year-old last surviving Tuskegee Airman, who was honored by the president. Amy Williams, a military mother who works full-time while raising 2 young children. She still finds time to devote countless hours to helping other military families. And President Trump had a surprise. He was thrilled to inform her that her husband was back, and he came in and surprised her. I mean, how wonderful. It was so wonderful to see that. Love to see when our military families can be reunited. Tony Rankins, an Army veteran and a prime example of how president's economic policies have life-changing results. Go back and come here and click the link and read more about that. And Carl and Marcia Mueller, last year, U.S. Special Forces took out the world's top terrorist, ISIS leader, Baghdadi. The Muellers tragically lost their daughter, Kayla, at the hands of this vicious killer. In her honor, the U.S. mission was named Task Force 814, of reference to Kayla's August 14th birthday. In the president's words, America's warriors never forgot Kayla, and neither will we. So there's more incredible stories, folks. Go to the blog here and click on this link, and you'll read the rest of them. Of course, here's a picture of the photo of the day. The president at his State of the Union address. Of course, we know that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was absent because we know she's really not probably with us anymore, but they're holding that back because they probably don't want to give the president another Supreme Court justice. So, well, we don't know. Nobody said anything. Notice how none of the, mainstream media made any comment about Ruth Bader Ginsburg not being there. But, we all know what's going on. Something's going on. Something strange is going on, right? So let's keep moving along. What are they saying? This is a very long list. I'm only going to read a few. It's a very long list. And I'd like everybody to go to the blog and check this out, because these are all the representatives, all the Republican Congress members who had, all the praise for the president regarding the State of the Union address. Of course, we have Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says, "I was proud to attend President Trump's State of the Union address and hear him discuss the crucial work we're doing together for the American people." Of course, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, "America is better off because of President Trump's policies." As we heard this evening, that was the other night, in just a few short years, this administration has carried out a pro-growth, forward-thinking agenda that has delivered for the people we have the privilege to serve. Let's just move along a little bit more. House Minority Whip Steve Scalise. Tonight, President Trump delivered a message of relentless optimism and unapologetic strength. Our national story over the past 3 years has become one of triumph over the forces of decline. I couldn't agree. I think that sums it up very, very accurately. Let's just keep moving along to a couple other ones. Martha McSally said, I thought it was President Trump's best speech. I had tears in my eyes. First time in my life in a State of the Union address, a couple of times. I thought it was so strong on President Trump's accomplishments, but then also so touching with the stories. And I absolutely agree, completely agree with her. Let's keep just looking at a couple other ones. We had Senator Chuck Grassley, honored President Trump, recognized my bipartisan work to lower prescription drug costs in his State of the Union address. President Trump called on Congress to pass bipartisan bill that Grassley and Wyden Prescription Drug Pricing Reduction Act now. It is time for the Senate to act. Let's see, anyone else I want to pull out of here? Senator Rand Paul, I stand with at Real Donald Trump, which is his Twitter handle. Let's bring our troops home. Time to leave the endless wars in the Middle East. And I couldn't agree more. Who else? Senator Cindy Hyde Smith. I applaud President Trump for remaining optimistic despite these contentious times. He reminds us there is more work to do to continue the great American comeback. The president's strong America First pro-growth agenda is succeeding. We have millions of new jobs, record low unemployment rates, manufacturing growth, new trade agreements, and a soaring stock market. So this is all really great stuff. There's a lot here. So what I would suggest is, and I'm actually going to have to scroll through it. I hate to do this on a screen share, but there's and then there's cabinet officials. I mean, they were all lauding the president. Of course, they work for him, but you know what? If you listen to what they said, you'd understand they're only speaking the truth. Let's listen to a few of them. This is from Secretary Steve Mnuchin, who I met at the White House at outside of the West Wing when I was reporting from the White House there. President Trump's message tonight was clear. He is delivering on his promises to the American people. As a result, families are taking home more money in their paychecks. Businesses are investing, the economy is growing, and the nation is safer. I applaud the president's continued commitment to a robust economic freedom agenda, which is lifting up all Americans. You know, the only thing I would add to this is when you clean up the family court system, then you're going to really improve the quality of life for human beings, for American families. Okay, when you have judges that, and that's sadly it's on the state level. So you know the president. Has to, I don't know what the president can really do on that level, but it needs to be cleaned up. There's no question. We have, who else did I want to call out here? Betsy DeVos, she's got to get rid of Common Core. Look, there's a lot more here. We have a lot to go through. So come and take a look at this. You know, Robert Lighthizer, this is the United States Trade Representative. Robert Lighthizer, he's involved with the China trade talks and very instrumental. This man is the one who's putting these deals together. Thanks to President Trump's strong leadership, America is thriving under his economic and trade policies. President Trump has kept his promise to chart a new and better course for U.S. trade policy through fairer and more balanced agreements. This enormous success is only the beginning of what we will accomplish under his leadership. And I do agree with that completely. State officials, now on the state level. So this is very long, folks. This is really long. I warned you it was long. So let's just see. There are other news on this day. So that's why I had to scroll through it. Sorry. So the statement from the press secretary, I think I will read this, okay? Today, the sham impeachment attempt concocted by Democrats ended in the full vindication and exoneration of President Donald J. Trump. As we have said all along, he is not guilty. The Senate voted to reject the baseless articles of impeachment, and only the president's political opponents, the Democrats, and one failed Republican presidential candidate voted for the manufactured impeachment articles. In what has now become a consistent tradition for Democrats, this was yet another witch hunt that deprived the president of his due process rights and was based on a series of lies. Representative Adam Schiff lied to Congress and the American people with a totally made-up statement about the president's phone call. Will there be no retribution? Speaker Nancy Pelosi also lied to the American people about the need to swiftly pass articles of impeachment articles they dreamt up, only to sit on them for a month before sending them over to the Senate. In the Senate, the Democrats continued to make their political motivations clear. Representative Schiff proclaimed the issues cannot be decided in a ballot box. Well, I beg to disagree. In less than 9 months, we all get to make that decision, proving once again they think they know better than the voters of this country. This entire effort by the Democrats was aimed at overturning the results of the 2016 election and interfering with the 2020 election. Throughout this wholly corrupt process, President Trump successfully advanced the interests of the United States. And I did read this earlier, the excerpts from it. So I'll just keep going. We had the press secretary statement on the visit of President Kenyatta of the Republic of Kenya. You can come and take a look at this here. We also had a background press call with the Venezuelan interim president Guaido's head of state visit. You can. This is a little controversial because, of course, he introduced him as the interim president during the State of the Union address. He was there as a guest, looked like. So it's very interesting what's going on there. But I think there's some deep state cabal element still in Venezuela, and I think that there's a force that wants to see some better economic advances for Venezuela. So where's Ruth? Well, I can tell you, Barbara Rose, I can tell you that the Supreme Court is ruthless, right? The Supreme Court is ruthless. She's not there. She's gone. Absolutely. Remove the Common Core. Hi, Shari. How are you, dear? Thanks for that email, by the way. I did get your email. And I do follow Joe M also on Twitter. So I do get all of his. And if you don't follow me, if you don't follow the GoldFish Report on Twitter, you should definitely should do it. This is our Twitter handle right here. So you can always just find us. Okay, that's our Twitter handle right there. And of course, I have one more day. I have one more list of news to report. I pressed the wrong button. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Which is actually it was today. I was just looking at it. We have a warning from the press secretary, and I will read this to you as well so that everybody knows what's going on. As I warned everybody at the beginning, not all of you were present. There is a major scam going on right now in the New York and New Jersey area, and it may be in other areas as well. There are these hackers that are hacking people's computers, and they're calling, they're cloning Apple phone numbers. And so you think they say they're Apple security, and then they get into your system. And once they do that, they start purchasing things at buy.com. And what they're purchasing are eBay gift cards. And so the company buy.com is aware that the scam is going on, and likely their fraud departments are catching these. But you should really beware, folks. Don't give anybody access to your computer. Don't give anybody your banking information, your credit card information. If Apple, and because I got hacked so badly, I had to take my computer, this computer, to Apple and had the whole thing cleaned off. It had anything that was in it removed. And they said they will never call you unless you ask them for a phone call. Apple will never call you. So please share this far and wide, because I know these scammers, these criminals are trying really hard to make an a dishonest living by stealing your money and robbing you and deceiving you. And beware, folks. Just beware, please. So let's take a look at today's news. And the president was at North Carolina Opportunity Now Summit He was at the Central Piedmont Community College in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is a very, very, very long transcript, and you can come to the blog and take a look. They're talking about unemployment being down, especially in North Carolina, and they're very hard. There's unprecedented economic momentum in that area, of course, all over the country. They're launching new campaigns called Opportunity Now for underserved cities. So the president was there. President, by the way, the press poolers are reporting that the president is at Republican Governors Association dinner tonight, and it is closed to the press. It is a closed press event. So I just wanted to report that from the poolers, the press poolers. So this is a very long transcript. So I suggest if you'd like to go through the details of what he's talking about, you can come to the blog, the goldfishreport.blogspot.com, and you can read this. I'm sorry for scrolling. I have to do this because that's how, look how long this was. I was telling you, there's no way I'm reading these things to you guys. Okay. Let's go over 5 stories the president doesn't want you to miss. Of course, we all saw, Nancy Pelosi rip up the speech. She went to shake the president's hand. He refused. Either he didn't see her or he refused to shake her hand, and she ripped up the excuse me. She ripped up the speech. I guess what she didn't realize is that all Americans saw her rip up that speech. Sorry, I needed a sip of tea because my throat is a little hoarse. I'd like to know what you all thought about that. Did you watch it live or did you watch the replay? And what did you think about her ripping up that speech? And then I'll go back to the comments and I'll take a look. Here we have James Madison 1, Nancy Pelosi 0. From the Wall Street Journal reporting. Sorry period in congressional history ended Wednesday with the Senate acquittal of President Trump on 2 articles of impeachment passed by a partisan and reckless Democratic House. Well, finally, some truthful reporting from the Wall Street Journal. Wow. This is amazing, folks. Chalk up one more victory for the framers of the Constitution, who realized the dangers of political factions and created the Senate to check them. Interesting. Read more about it. Go to the goldfishreport.blogspot.com and read more about it. The Federalist reporting a breakdown of Trump's most triumphant week yet. Yeah. Whether one is a Donald Trump supporter or not, it's impossible to deny this has been one of the best weeks for the Trump presidency ever. Those successes include record high approval ratings, a well-received State of the Union address, an expectation-shattering job report, and the end of Democrats' impeachment stunt. Tristan Justice writes. Go and read more about it there. CNBC, oh my God, let me say that again. CNBC, January adds a much stronger than expected 225,000 jobs. Who's reporting this? CNBC? Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was reading that right. The Trump economy shattered predictions again with 225,000 jobs added last month, beating the 158,000 expected, Jeff Cox reports. There was more good news for workers. Average hourly earnings rose 3.1% over a year ago. Wage growth for blue-collar workers outpaced gains for managers, a reversal from the previous administration. Go there and read that story. Read more about it. Again, another Federalist, Molly Hemingway, writes, President Donald Trump's rousing State of the Union address to divide Congress encouraged his supporters with bold defense and conservative values, overtly reached out to independence on the basis of successful implementation of domestic policy goals, and in doing so enraged the Democrat left on what was already a difficult day for them. That's pretty funny. And of course, the Washington Examiner is reporting, after more than 50 years, the outdated government dependency approach to fighting poverty has shown its limits, writes Thomas Phillipson, acting chairman of the White House Council of Economic Advisors. That's why President Trump championed a new anti-poverty strategy with his 2017 Opportunity Zone tax cuts, which he was talking about today in North Carolina, which are spurring development and job creation in struggling communities. So those were top 5 stories. Go to the blog, take a look at these stories if you want to learn more about it or read more about it. This is not the this isn't the press release that I was referring to, but this is one of 2 today. This is here. The president is naming U.S. Coast Guard Rear Admiral Peter J. Brown of Florida as a special representative for Puerto Rico's disaster recovery. Oh, that's important because poor Puerto Rico, I mean, it's a U.S. territory, and they're just suffering from all these earthquakes, the hurricane. I mean, they're not getting a break, these people. In this capacity, Admiral Brown will coordinate United States government efforts to build the infrastructure and resiliency of Puerto Rico. You can go here and read more about it if you're interested and learning about it. In January, as you know, last month, Puerto Rico was struck by a magnitude 6.4 earthquake and hundreds of additional aftershocks and tremors, damaging hundreds of homes and infrastructure. So, these people need to have a break. And it's good to see that the president has appointed somebody to really spearhead that and be responsible and accountable to the people. Here's a long list of remarks before the president departed on the South Lawn today. So the president was talking about the DC Circuit. We just won big emollients case. I think it was a unanimous decision. This was brought by Nancy Pelosi and her group. It just came out a few minutes ago, so I'll be reading it on the helicopter. But but it was a total win. This was brought by 230 Democrats in Congress on emollients. This was another phony case, and we won it 3-0. We won it unanimously. They're asking the president if Mick Mulvaney's going to stay his chief of staff. The president said, yeah. Someone said, are you looking to replace him? The president said that was a false report. I have a great relationship with Mick. That's wonderful. He also said, there was a question from the media. Would you like to see Alexander Vidman out of your White House? He said, well, I'm not happy with him. Do you think I'm supposed to be happy with him? I'm not. Is he going to leave? The press asked him, and he said, the president said they'll make that decision. And he said, you'll be hearing. They keep asking, this is the thing when I was there, even reporting myself, they just kept pressing and digging on the same issue. The president kept giving him the same answer. It wasn't going to change. They really can't trip up this president. I'm telling you, he's such a great communicator. And that's one of the things that not every president has, is the ability, to communicate. And he's so articulate. He's so incredibly articulate. And they haven't tripped him up yet. I'm not saying he's perfect. I think, he's had a few off moments, but he's really not been tripped up because he's just telling it like it is. Okay, so the question is, has FISA abuse changed your opinion about Edward Snowden? The president couldn't understand what they were saying. He says, the question was, has FISA abuse against your campaign changed your opinion about whether Edward Snowden, and then he said, well, they didn't finish the question. Well, we were abused by the FISA process. There's no question about it. We were seriously abused by FISA, by what they did, by what they signed, and who signed it. It's a terrible thing that happened, and we were absolutely abused as per your question. So he didn't answer the question about Snowden. Now, you can go here and take a look. There's a lot... There's funny comments here, and in here they're asking about, so one of the press pullers asked, so manufacturing evidence is a felony crime in all 50 states. Does the administration intend to go after Adam Schiffer's role in the impeachment trial in manufacturing evidence? This is a really important question. Well, I have to say this. We just came out with fantastic job numbers. I think it was 230,000 or something thereabout, which was a much higher than projection. So jobs continue to be great. Our country continues to do great. I'm now going to North Carolina. Some of you maybe are coming, but the jobs report just came out and it's great. So he didn't actually answer the question. So the next question, you have been acquitted. Do you still want the Iranian president to dig up dirt on your political rivals? You see, this is what fake news is about. Look at this fake question. This is such a fake question that it triggers me. And it's a good thing I'm not reporting from the White House, because I'd probably be in their faces arguing with them. It's probably not a good idea. It's probably better that I'm not there right now until they get rid of those, fake news reporters. I mean, this is not what he was doing. Why would they ask him a question like that? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting triggered. So I'm going to go past this, because you see, it triggers me. And it's just ridiculous. It's like, how many times? Here's another press secretary news release. There was one that had a warning in here. Okay, this is the one. So today, this was referring to. No, I don't think this is the one. I'm sorry, folks. Just bear with me for a second. No. I'm telling you, I can post. There's days I post about 20 news releases. So I'm just trying to make sure I have. Oh, okay. I'm just trying to make sure I have the right one for you all. No. Let me view that one. Okay. February 7th. Okay. As at the direction of President Donald J. Trump, the United States conducted a counterterrorism operation in Yemen that successfully eliminated Qasim al-Rimi, a founder of the leader of al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, and a deputy to al-Qaeda leader, Ayman al-Zawahiri. Rimi joined al-Qaeda in the 1990s, working in Afghanistan for Osama bin Laden. Under Rimi, AQAP committed unconscionable, he's referring to unconscionable violence against civilians in Yemen, and sought to conduct and inspire numerous attacks against the United States and our forces. His death further degrades ACAP and the global al-Qaeda movement, and it brings us closer to eliminating the threats these groups pose to our national security. The United States, our interests, and our allies are safer as a result of his death. We will continue to protect the American people by tracking down and eliminating terrorists who seek to do us harm. So that was one of the other statements that I posted today, but I can tell you there's another one. Let me see. This one? Yes, this is the one. Okay. So today, a single unelected district judge in the Central District of California issued a legally groundless and sweeping injunction that, if not immediately lifted, will guarantee the release of innumerable criminal illegal aliens into our communities, putting citizens at dire risk. This ruling undermines the pillars of immigration enforcement and blocks traditional and vital law enforcement cooperation that has occurred for decades. This injunction puts the health and lives of innocent Americans in direct jeopardy. Our neighborhoods are less safe today as a result of this dangerous district court ruling. So if you're living in California or have family or friends there, you might want to bring this to their attention. Please go. It's dated February 6th, but it was published today because yesterday was not a good day. I didn't get much posting done, maybe none. So check this out, because I think we need to be paying attention to these kinds of rulings that still have Obama appointed judges. You know that they have a different agenda. They're not going to follow the Constitution or put America first. So be very careful, folks. If you live in California, go to the blog. You can see that it was published today, Friday, February 7th. It's a statement from the press secretary. It's really a warning to Americans, and you should heed this warning. We don't want to have illegal criminals, illegal aliens who are criminal illegal aliens, especially released into our communities. This is crazy. It's insane. It's insanity. Why would we want that? So I wanted to reach out to the viewers. Of course, it's ludicrous. I know. I'm listening to. I'm looking at viewer comments right now. Of course, it's ridiculous. So yeah, thank you, Barbara. No, I appreciate I'm not the only one that gets triggered. And that's what it was like when I was there when I was live streaming the press conference where, the infamous Jim Acosta press conference when he lost his press credentials. I was there live streaming that, which you might remember. I felt I felt horrible for the president. I felt like they were abusing him. It's what it felt like. Like the energy of it felt abusive to me. It's what it felt like. The president actually had to walk away from the podium several times to get his composure. And then if it wasn't Jim Acosta, it was Anita. What was her name? And I think her name is Anita something or other from another liberal, media organization. And they just, it makes it harder to get through the job. But there's no reason for being disrespectful and rude to the president. You still should be respectful to the office of the president and the president, even if you disagree with the policy. And you really shouldn't be an advocate. I can tell you that, in this platform that I have on YouTube, I will report the news. I'm trying to report the facts, and I do add my own opinion because I'm one of you. I'm we the people. I'm with you. I'm looking for the truth like you are, I'm trying to report the truth to you. I was there and I know what these people said. And I can tell you and report to you firsthand that they're like relentless sharks. They just don't give up. And of course, they have their agenda. So Congress Bill HR 5383. Now, let me take a look at that. New Way Forward. That's the name of the bill. Someone just asked me if I've seen this bill. It's in the House Judiciary Committee. Let's see what the text is on this. I'll screen share this in a minute as soon as I get this. End mandatory detention and require probable cause for arrest. This is to reform the process for enforcing the immigration laws of the United States. Okay. So no, I'm really glad our viewers are checking into this. Yeah. I'll April Tantrum. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. Yeah, I would. That's an appropriate name. Let me screen share this. This is the bill that. Let's see. Who is this? Where'd you go? Oh, Moki7. Thanks, Moki7. Yeah, I'm going to screen share it. Hold on a second. I had to redo this to screen share it. 1 second, guys. Okay. Here it is. HR 5383. Okay. Introduced last year. To reform the process for enforcing the immigration laws of the United States and for other purposes. Okay. House of Representatives. Let's see. Who's on here? Escobar, Garcia, Meyer, Lee. Oh, yeah. This is Committee on the Judiciary, Vargas. Oh, Miss Ocasio-Cortez. Boy, I have cortex in my head. Occasional cortex, like in my mind. I see. Folks, wake up. Don't let I don't know if this bill. Let's see what the what actions are on the bill right now. It's just introduced in the House. Of course, folks, they don't call it the crazy house for nothing. They don't call it maybe the nut house at this point. Refer to the Subcommittee on Immigration and Citizenship. Yeah. Okay, and let's see who the co-sponsors are. 43 co-sponsors. Holy, look at all these codes. They're all Democrats. Ah, look at that. All right, well, thanks. for pointing that out to us, folks. Don't better call up your representative and say, kill 5383, because look, the president laid it out in the State of the Union. He laid it out very clearly that we don't, proposed by 44 Dems. Yeah. Thank you, Moki 7. Yeah. Legal immigration's how my family got here, or at least part of my family. The president he's not in favor of anchor babies. He's not in favor of these sanctuary cities. He's not in favor of it. It's not the same as economic zone. That's where a disadvantaged town or city or area gets tax breaks and tax advantages in order, and also other incentives, maybe even subsidies, in order to help revitalize a region that is depressed or deprived or something or other. That's not the same as this. So let's see. We'll allow aliens to commit crimes, get away with them, and never be deported. Yeah. I mean, look, they're releasing them already. And the president was talking about it, I think, in his State of the Union or in his one of his Trump rally speeches, where they were released in New York State's doing it. I mean, what happened to New York? I know New York was always liberal, but I thought most of them had a brain and could think. Good grief. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. That's great to know. Now I'm going to talk about it in every report and make sure people know that they need to call up their representatives and say, vote no. Kill the bill. That's what we want to do. Kill the bill. So this is, let me see, HR, again, 5383. Yeah. Okay, kill the bill. Yeah, we have to do our part too, I mean, the president's working so hard draining the swamp and doing everything he can do. And we have to do our part. We have to call our representatives and say no to these things. And, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm not going to have, 100% of, like, I'm not going to devote all of my time just talking about what new bills are introduced into Congress. Like, everybody's got to do their own work in their own district for that. So, but when it comes to the president, I talk about the president's policy, pretty much exclusively. However, when I do the political theater reports with Jim Fetzer, those reports are more along the lines of general politics. But the POTUS reports are strictly about the president's policy, and the bullet points presentations that I do, which the first half an hour are available on YouTube. And then, look, if you're really a policy geek and you want to know more, you can go on to Vimeo, because it's a few bucks to rent it, because it's a real academic review of a certain area of the president's policy. And I'm behind on it. Why I'm stuck on Second Amendment. It's so crazy right now. I don't want to make it like 2 hours long. But our Second Amendment, folks, we give that up, and it's curtains for us. It's curtains for us, right? 5383. Okay. Hold on a second. I'm not in the right chat window. Okay. Kill the bill, HR 5383. This is what, if you're inclined to disagree with this proposed legislation, this is one thing you could say. Tucker talks about this on his show. Yeah, Q Post 3839. Yeah. Actually, let's check out, let's take a look. I usually coordinate a lot of the Q posts with the president's, but it's been a rough couple days for me. The best is yet to come. Absolutely. Foreign actors have been bribing U.S. citizens in key positions to betray their country. Oh, man, that's a shame. That's really a shame, Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Okay. Why is China, Qatar donating vast sums of money to our education institutions? Oh, really, folks? Are we really allowing this? Click on that. link and you'll find out. Is it really so hard to believe F actors are able to bribe those in key positions within the U.S. to betray their country? Wow. Guess it is. Sadly, I guess it is. Look at that. So here we have, shall we play a game? Where are they now? Released emails show FBI scrambling to respond to Clinton lawyer amid Wiener laptop review. You know, folks, what's on this laptop is so disturbing. People will just be sickened. Absolutely sickened. I mean, didn't you hear the reports that New York City cops, toughest men in the country, in my opinion, well, in the New York NYPD fire department, the fire department men, I think firemen anywhere are the toughest men in the world. That's what I think. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think our military guys and our fire department guys, our fire department, all of our armed forces and fire department, and I'll throw in some, police areas, but a lot, especially the NYPD. I think they're the toughest men on the planet. Absolutely the toughest. I've never met a New York City firefighter that was not an authentic man, a genuine tough guy. You know what I mean? But a nice, good person. It's just unbelievable. And these men, these New York City cops who have seen everything, they've seen everything. Trust me. I used to do special effects makeup for some of these drills that they did. And I had to go into New York City and visit Office of Emergency Management because they wanted to do a drill on the railroad. So I needed to see what some of the injuries looked like from previous accidents so that I could recreate that with makeup, right? I wasn't prepared for what I was seeing. Oh man, let me tell you, these guys have seen everything. But when they saw the Wiener laptop and the images on this laptop, they were psychologically changed. It was reported. I'm not saying this with firsthand experience, but the reports were that these men needed to seek psychological counseling. That they were that disturbed by what they saw on this laptop. And these are cops that have seen everything. They've seen it all in New York City. Everything, trust me. They really pretty much have. And these fire department, the firemen, amazing men. I love New York City firemen. I really do. I think they're amazing men. And actually firemen everywhere. They're really great. They're really, really amazing, brave men. Amazing, brave men. Yes, I have an NYFD hat. I admit it. Look at this. We have Federal Bureau of Investigation, James Comey, director, fired. Andrew McCabe, deputy director, fired. When people keep saying, well, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. That's not true. Look who's fired. These are the top FBI people, folks. Hello. You're not going to read about it on mainstream media, right? They're going to talk about it for a minute. Chief of Staff Senior Counselor Jim Rybicki, fired. James Baker, General Counsel, fired. Bill Priestap, Director of Counterintelligence, Strzok's boss, fired. Peter Strzok, fired. Lisa Page, fired. Mike Cortan, fired. Josh Campbell, assistant to Comey, fired. Michael Steinbeck, head of National Security Division, fired. I'd like to hear the president say it because, he made that term famous, didn't he? On The Apprentice. You're fired, right? Michael Steinbeck, head of National Security Division, fired. John Glacalone, predecessor to Steinbeck, head of National Security Division, fired. Fired. James Bauer, fired. Tricia Anderson, fired. Don't say that there's nothing happening, folks. This is a long list. This is a deep swamp. There's a lot more to go. But here we have, if dirty cops ran the investigation into the DNC breach, could arguments be made that it was corrupt? If dirty cops ran the investigation into election interference, could an argument be made that it was corrupt? If dirty cops ran the investigation into HRC private server email scandal, could an argument be made that it was corrupt? Russia did not hack the DNC server. CrowdStrike, manipulation of source. Where is CrowdStrike? In the Ukraine. Russia did not interfere with us. 2016. CrowdStrike, manipulation of source. The truth will be made public. See, the media has blinded and divided the people to render them powerless and controllable. They tried to destroy the USA internally. This is bigger than you can imagine. We have been hearing this for, how long now? Since 2017 when, Q first came out. Absolutely. What do you all think about that? Exactly. Do I have any info on Winston? Nothing. Nothing new. Everything is Winston was taken into custody by federal marshals, unfortunately. But I pray and hope that that situation will be resolved for him. And I think he could use prayers, everyone's prayers as well. Doesn't hurt. So that's all I know about Winston. So Moki7 says, do you remember when Barry was in and teachers were going to Turkey to be trained to teach Islam in our schools, paid for by Turkey? Oh boy. Yeah, the paramedics are great too, Barbara. I'm not. Oh, the paramedics are awesome. But this one cop, yeah, I have to tell you, I did have my gallbladder taken out because I had a gallbladder attack. And the cop walks in and sees me. And when I tell him what's going on, he's like, oh, it's probably your gallbladder. And he knew it. He's seen it before. They've seen it all, folks. They've seen it all. Yes. I mean, cops typically are awesome. I mean, the cops in my town are pretty awesome, I have to say. NYPD cops are awesome. Most cops are awesome. I have to say they are. They're also very brave. They have to be brave. They're dealing with criminals every day. They don't know who's a criminal and who's not. They're not psychic. They're walking up to a car. They could get killed. I mean, they're risking their lives, right? It's amazing. I think we need to respect our law enforcement. We need to respect our fire department men. But my point was about the fact that these are the toughest men on the planet. There's no question that our police and fire department, and of course the paramedics, they're so amazing. They're like angels with wings flying through those ambulances, aren't they? They are. But they were so disturbed by what they saw. They had to take a leave. They had to go get psychological counseling. It's going to come out, folks. It's not going to be for everybody. Doesn't Q always say the end is not for everyone, right? It's not for everyone. Not everybody's going to be able to handle it. So we'll see what happens. So, yeah, exactly. It's disturbing. I have to tell you, I did see, a still photo of some of this stuff. It did happen to, I did happen to see a still photo. And you're going to be so angry. If you see this, and I don't know if they're really going to release that to the public, you're going to be so mad. You're not going to be able to see straight. You're going to be so angry and hurt, devastated, disgusted, sickened. You're just not, there's a reason why it hasn't been released yet, folks, and it probably won't be. You just don't normally see that stuff, even on the internet, like even on YouTube. You don't normally see stuff like this. Someone was killed. There were children that were killed. And let's not forget that the IG report concluded there were crimes against children, that the Clinton Foundation, that HRC was, that they concluded she committed crimes against children. So we're going to wait and see what that is. Thank you, Veronica. I appreciate that. Oh, I am. You can't be a shrinking violet, in the New York area. You won't survive very long. You have to be a little bit, yeah, that you have to be, a steel magnolia for sure. I agree. Yeah, and so Barbara's saying Cody Snodgrass described some of the things they do, and she was disturbed for days. No. Yeah, Moki 7, that's exactly what was described that she did. I didn't see her, but I saw the child after this was removed. I used to work in making prosthetics. I didn't tell you people this, but I used to attend surgery. I used to watch skin grafts and all kinds of surgeries performed. I used to do prosthetic work for burn patients and trauma patients, and I've seen a lot of things too. I used to just deal with the most catastrophic cases, and uh, but I never saw anything like this. Not at all. So, and I worked with these doctors. I know the chiefs of surgery at Harlem Hospital, St. Luke's Roosevelt Hospital. I worked with all of them, you know. And how about the red shoes exactly? And what about they're supposedly dyed red, but they're supposedly the skin of the children who they sacrificed. I don't know. I can't confirm that, but that is the report. Yes, that is the report. That is so sick. Isn't that sick? People would do things like that. Wow. Okay. So, but folks, this is why the president is doing what he's doing. And we have to trust the plan, don't we? We have to trust the plan, put our faith in the president, trust the plan, and pray. I think that's all we can really do. So I'm just going to go up to I'm going to go through the comments to see. Missouri's Second Amendment supersedes federal government. Moki 7 said. Yeah, Kill Bill. Exactly, Todd. I know. My skin is still so itchy because it hasn't healed yet from this traumatic microwaving on my head. These cell phone towers. We just did a special report with Miles Johnston from the Basis Project. Go look at our GoldFish Report YouTube channel and check out that interview. He has a lot to share. We shared a lot of information on that one as well. Very emotional and sensitive. Yeah. This bill is ludicrous. Of course it's ludicrous. So I asked everybody, what you thought about Nancy Pelosi ripping up that State of the Union address. And I'm trying to look for your comments on here. Yeah, they were all fired. Yeah. Right. You saw it in other people's videos. I see. Yeah, she did it right at the end. Yeah, the president didn't shake her hand. Maybe that's what triggered her. Who knows? Right. I mean, look, you can't when you're in Europe. I mean, that's 2 a.m. in Europe exactly, or 3 a.m. if you're in Eastern Europe. Yeah, it was late. We know it's late there. Everybody gets to. Yeah, so Moki 7, what I was reading earlier was from our blog, and I'll put the blog address here. Actually, I'll just copy and paste it for everybody. Okay, so if you want to, and I should do that. I know I should do that like at each time I do a live POTUS report. I'm still getting, my sea legs with this new platform. So here it is, guys. Folks, I just posted the blog link. The link to our blog. I don't know why only the orange is highlighted there. What's the matter, Barbara? Why do you have to go? We have a slew of Gwen Towers. Yeah. Oh, you do. Oh, I see. Mhm. Are you getting out of our room or are you getting out of where you're living? Yeah. See, Barbara, yeah, your skin, because microwaves dry up the moisture in your skin and it causes extreme discomfort and causes eye problems. It causes your tear ducts to not work properly. It could even cause premature uh, cataracts. This is really bad for us guys. And I don't even know how much of this we're getting from our screens and our monitors on our computers and stuff. Got to really, be careful that. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I mean, people will really have a hard time Thank you, Adam. Oh, you guys are so awesome. Thank you for joining me tonight. Um, yeah. Oh, oh, I see. Yeah. I mean, for all of us who have the 5G, towers near us, or, they're, it's not a healthy thing. She violated 18 U.S. Code 2071, concealment, removal, and mutilation generally. Let me tell you, folks, it's going to come out. I mean, once the president is reelected, we know he's gonna win on a landslide, because we're all going to make sure that we're all going to vote for him for the next election. And when he does, wait until you see what that next term is going to bring United States. The best is yet to come. The president's absolutely right. We have to put our faith in him and trust that he's doing uh, the right thing for America, and I think that he is. You live in the country. Well, I'll tell you. Yeah, Adam, I'll tell you. I mean, thanks for that advice there. What we need to do is find a way to block those frequencies from entering our home. That's what we need to do. And of course, Miles Johnston talked about how Tim Refat, which who he interviews, his name is Tony something. Tony something, I don't remember the last name, but he actually had to build an entirely stainless steel room, and he had to solder the edges together so that it wouldn't penetrate him, because it wouldn't, because he was under attack big time. Yeah, he's trying to save corrupted capitalism. No, I don't think he's trying to save corrupted capitalism. I think what he's trying to do is he's really trying to end the corruption. That's what I believe the president's trying to do. I think it's clear from his policies that's what he's trying to do. Um, yeah, um, yeah, Faraday cage, essentially. Exactly, exactly. And I think that the president has very powerful enemies, but I think ultimately, you know, you have to remember what Q said. This is really um, a war between dark against light, good versus evil. That's what this is really about. And I don't think we should take that, too lightly. I think we should take it very seriously. Um, so it may not ever be completely eliminated, but at least it will not rise to the level that it has. That has stopped. What we had infiltrators, we had traitors within our government. We have to find a way to never let that happen again. So there has to be an end to the corruption. There has to be people who like I said, fire them all, like Putin did, and we'll replace them all, or find a new government. Forget about the two-party government. We have to have solutions for this. Wow, Shari, where did you find EMF paint? Someone spent a lot of money, $450 on EMF paint for your bedroom, and the ceiling's not covered. We got to get that ceiling covered. I would definitely let me know how it works out. Yeah, the best is yet to come. Exactly. The Q link that I was just screen sharing has a video link to that. So I will actually play it, and then we'll close out for the night. So why don't I do that? Let me go into that video, because I did see it, into that link, and let's see what we have. The best is yet to come. Let's see. Let's see what we can find here. Go onto YouTube, and okay, I'm going to screen share this for our viewers. And I so appreciate all of you. I really do. You know I do. I so appreciate our Patreons. We're going to try to have some special reporting for our Patreons. I might do some live streams. I have a different schedule for the first half of next week. And so I may be doing some solo live streams just for our Patreons. So if you're not a Patreon for the GoldFish Report, join. Become a patron of the GoldFish Report on Patreon. The links are on our website there, and you will definitely see that. You will definitely see get early releases of certain limited edition or exclusive edition type interviews. You'll get those in advance of the public, and so you'll get early releases of that. And I'm going to try to start to do other special events just for our Patreons. So that's what you get for supporting the channel. And for those who make donations, I mean, I see people doing micro donating, and you know what, folks, that makes a difference. It's actually a lot to upkeep this and to maintain the integrity of GoldFish Report. From hacking, from, website protection, I had to get extra security. I had hacking on the website, death threats. I had all kinds of things coming in. You have no idea what we really have to live with, folks, if you really only knew. I don't really talk about it much, a little bit, but not a lot. But here I'm going to screen share this video for everybody. So let's check it out.
America is a land of heroes, a place where greatness is born, where destinies are forged, and where legends come to life. This is the home of Thomas Edison and Teddy Roosevelt, of many great generals, including Washington, Pershing, Patton, and MacArthur. This is the home of Abraham Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, Amelia Earhart, Harriet Tubman, the Wright brothers, Neil Armstrong, and so many more. This is the country where children learn names like Wyatt Earp, Davy Crockett, and Annie Oakley. This is the place where the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth and where Texas patriots made their last stand at the Alamo. The American nation was carved out of the vast frontier by the toughest, strongest, fiercest, and most determined men and women ever to walk on the face of the earth. Our ancestors braved the unknown, tamed the wilderness, settled the Wild West, lifted millions from poverty, disease, and hunger, vanquished tyranny and fascism, ushered the world to new heights of science and medicine, laid down the railroads, dug out the canals, raised up the skyscrapers. Our ancestors built the most exceptional republic ever to exist in all of human history, and we are making it greater than ever before. This is our glorious and magnificent inheritance. We are Americans. We are pioneers. We are the pathfinders. We settled the new world. We built the modern world, and we changed history forever by embracing the eternal truth that everyone is made equal by the hand of Almighty God. America is the place where anything can happen. America is the place where anyone can rise. And here, on this land, on this soil, on this continent, the most incredible dreams come true. This nation is our canvas, and this country is our masterpiece. We look at tomorrow and see unlimited frontiers just waiting to be explored. Our brightest discoveries are not yet known. Our most thrilling stories are not yet told. Our grandest journeys are not yet made. The American age, the American epic, the American adventure has only just begun. Our spirit is still young. The sun is still rising. God's grace is still shining. And my fellow Americans, the best is yet to come.
That was wonderful. I want to go back to one scene for a minute, folks, because funny how they went over this very quickly. Right here. Our grandest journeys not yet made. We have the new United States Space Force. And so look at this. What are we looking at?
Our grandest journey.
What is that? Does anybody know what that is? Is this an artist's rendition of something that we've never seen before? So this is pretty interesting that this was like thrown in there real quick, right?
Are not yet made.
Did you see that? Let's play that again. Remember, United States Space Force.
Are not yet told. Our grandest journeys.
What is this? I just wanted to play this back, make sure everybody saw it. Take a look at this. What on earth is this? If you know what it is, please type in the comment section because I would love to know. It's made. It looks like it could be an artist's rendition. It says Boeing on it, American Airlines. What is it? It's pretty awesome looking, whatever it is.
Journeys are not yet made.
I think what he's doing is that was like conceptual, and this is supposed to be like Mars in the background, and because that's his goal. He has said it several times that he plans to go to Mars. I don't know what we're really going to do on Mars, being that we, can't really live in peace here. Not quite sure if it's such a good idea, but I don't know. I guess he has some plan for that. So thank you so much for that super chat. That's so nice of you. I appreciate that. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. What do you guys think of that video? Yeah, the Starship Enterprise, exactly. Very, very Star Trek looking. Isn't it, though? It certainly is. Wasn't Star Trek really that was channeled information, wasn't it? I don't think it was Gene Roddenberry's own creation. If I'm not mistaken, and I may be, but if I'm not mistaken, I did recall that hearing and reading that was channeled information or information given by off-worlders in one way or another. So again, Marisande, thank you so much for that super chat. So, well, that's about it for the week, folks. Tomorrow, we're going to be back with a political theater report with the Fets. And Harley, man, you're so funny. He said he pooped in a candy box and sent it to Nancy with a card, your candy for a... you could just send her a box of candy and say, because you need some sweetening. I don't think they'd open the poop, honestly, to be honest with you. But, yeah, hopefully an aircraft that HRC doesn't have a patented kill switch for. Oh, my God. I love your comments, guys. You're all so wonderful. You say the things that I can't say. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, that's what it is. Yeah, Gene Roddenberry, exactly. He was connected. He had ET connections. Star Trek is prophecy. Absolutely. Adam. Yeah, you guys are so funny. So that's the story. I did not stand the white coats. Yeah, I have to tell you, look, maybe we'll do another report on this. So the whole issue of what I did notice was missing from that that little clip we just played, which was, President was talking about at the State of the Union, was he said, we are the pioneers, the pilgrims that came here. Talked about the Alamo, but didn't talk about how sadly a lot of the pioneers came and slaughtered the Native Indians here, the Native Americans. And it's a real sore spot. I think we all know. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you for joining me, you awesome sweet petunia. Yeah, we have some some shameful history. I mean, there's no question about it. I think I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me 1 second. I'm going to mute my microphone. Yeah, it's getting cold here. We definitely need to find a way to reconcile this. You know, we can't change what's happened. Nobody owns the earth. We all have to live and share and, but I don't know. It just looks like nobody can trust anybody anymore. They couldn't trust each other, and the rest is history, right? Yeah. Yeah. Interesting point, Barbara. Yeah. Clairvoyant sneeze. That's funny. Um, yeah. Space Force. Look, look, there's a lot of people you guys know that I've interviewed, whistleblowers from the secret space program. You've seen it on other channels too. They say we have all these things, and you remember that UK um, hacker that got into the United States government military uh, database. What was his name? Can't remember his name. McGregor or something, or McGarren, something like that. He found out that we had a whole, fleet of a space fleet that went into deep space. He revealed that. So that was a really big, disclosure on that. But we are having disclosure. Uh, yeah, we are having. Well, Todd, that's probably true too. I mean, yeah, they were fighting each other, of course. There were definitely huge regions. They definitely fought each other for territory. You're right about that. Oh, Jammer Greg, well, happy 68th birthday. Happy birthday. Oh, that's great. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, Gary McKinnon. Thank you, Marisande. Thank you for being my memory tonight. It's the full moon. Not going to challenge myself. Okay. Gary McKinnon, exactly. So, and he was the hacker that hacked into either one of the NSA databases or one of the military databases and found a lot of things. We were interacting with aliens. That there were tall whites. Of course, Snowden released this as well. There were. He said it was a deep space fleet. I believe that's what he said. And I don't think there was a lot more revealed about it than that. If you know more, please mention it in the chat section. Hi, Robert. Yes, it's very true that the native residential schools, the Indian residential schools in Canada. Yes, sadly, they were slaughtered. The children were taken, and yes, and oh, that's an interesting question, Adam. Probably without losses, I would say I would probably answer that. Uh, um, See, we're an LLC, so we are a corporation. So we have to upkeep things. We have to upkeep websites, security. Um, we have many URLs because they're not just, you don't just get the goldfishreport.com. You have to buy all the ones that are close to it, so it's not hacked. There's something screaming outside. Sounds like an animal. It's weird. So I don't know. I would say it would have to be like around, um, I don't know. I would say around 600 a month. That's what I would say. And we're not bringing it in. I mean, it's not that much, that something is screaming outside. Gee, that doesn't sound good. Like that. So why do you ask, Adam? You thinking about helping finding some benefactors for us? That would be great because we could really use it. Um, and that's just to cover the expenses. That's not even any time, that doesn't, I don't get any paid from this at all. So, I mean, I took this upon myself to do this because I wanted to inform people. I wanted people to not suffer the things that I had to go through in the family court system. I haven't ever told the story fully. It's so painful. I don't really want to. But it's definitely, you know, um, and of course, I did this through my public policy graduate course that I was doing. So I decided to go into media. But I didn't like start out doing it that way. I mean, I didn't start out with the idea of I was going to, I guess because I focused on media, I wanted to get the truth out. I didn't necessarily decide that it was going to be, and in fact, I hardly talk about family court at all. So, it's not, about that, but, it is about corruption. It is about how we can fix things. It is about how everybody can get involved and do what they can do to help make this world a better place, you know? Yeah, the child traffickers are still going after the Native Indians. I believe that. I mean, why wouldn't they? Exactly. So, Adam, if you can find some benefactors, that would be great. Use calendula gel for your face, Louisa. Yeah, man, I use Tomcat or Cat, and yeah, it might be Moki7. Moki, are you psychic? Praying for the animal outside. Bless you guys. You're so sweet. No, this was really loud. Like somebody got hurt tonight. Somebody got their tail ripped off or something. I had a cat whose tail got ripped off by a raccoon. Oh, it's horrible. I don't even want to talk about it. My little wolfie. I just don't want to talk about it. Okay, so I think Moki7 is a little psychic. I'm glad you're in the room. That's good. Yeah, exactly. See, Moki7 knows. Yeah. It's really broken. The family court system's broken in every state of the country, I have to tell you. You know, it's a racket. It really is a racket. And if you haven't seen Divorce Corp the movie, you should go see it because it's very scary. You'll either not ever get married again or you'll make sure you never get divorced. It's scary. Oh, that's great, Adam. No, I mean, look, 600 at the amount of time I'm investing now. If I invest more time, then I'm going to need more programming. I'm going to need more space and stuff, and the expense might go up, but if the amount of time that I'm investing in this, that's it, so that I don't have any costs out of pocket. Um, I would like to do this full time. I mean, I almost do it full time. I'm pretty obsessed with doing it, quite honestly. But you know, and I love doing the live streams. I just love connecting with you, with all the people. That's why I do this. Thanks, William. Oh, you're so sweet. Yeah, Christ consciousness to all. Thanks for your super chat. I appreciate that. That's so nice of you. Yeah, that's right, Robert. Benjamin Fulford has explained this, and he does go into more details, but he has the protection of the Yakuza, and I don't. He's got some Japanese mafia protecting him, and I don't. So there's things that he can talk about that I can't really talk about unless I want to get my face fried. So, yeah, stop. The NWO 2012 cats and raccoons hanging out on my porch. Love the cat food. Exactly. Exactly. So hopefully things will be going well over there. Exactly. Well, everybody, I really enjoyed hanging out with you. This is date night. This is our date night. Every Friday night we'll have date night. it'll be our POTUS report. I like to sharing that with everybody because I think the president's done an incredible job. I think he does have the right agenda for America. Certainly better than the alternatives that we have. Um, we really have to make sure this president gets reelected because he has a lot more work to do. We have to restore this republic. We have to get a we have to end the Fed as the president has said he wants to do. This is coming up in the second term, folks. At least, if not before then, we have to have accountability for these corrupt politicians who wasted taxpayer money and committed fraud against the American people and the president on these fake Russian collusion, fake impeachment hoaxes. We need to hold them accountable. We need to hold accountable the child traffickers, the pedophiles, the criminals, the drug pushers. We have to clean up. We have to have capitalism with a conscience. That's why I disagreed with one of the statements earlier. I don't believe that the president's trying to continue more of the same corrupt capitalism. I think he's trying to make capitalism with a conscience. Because what happened was the profit margin and the bottom line was the top priority. It has been for eons. And when greed is your priority, then your society is going to suffer. And our society has suffered under that paradigm. And we have to be the ones who won't accept it again. We have to make sure that we don't let it happen again, because we, the people, it's our responsibility ultimately. Yeah. Every Friday night, date night, we're here on the GoldFish Report, POTUS Report, Q Report. You got it. And, we'll be on Saturday with, this Saturday. We're usually doing our political theaters on Monday, but I'm not going to be able to do it Monday, so we're going to do it tomorrow, which is fine because it reviews the week in political news overall. So some of this will be reported a little bit tomorrow as well. Vishnave. Interesting. Your father was a family court judge in North Virginia. In Virginia, North VA, North. I never heard of North Virginia, but I guess it's the Northern District of Virginia. Oh, Adam, thank you so much. Now to put a join button on your YouTube page and charge a fee for it. If only 50 people joined at $5. Thank you, Adam. That's so nice of you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I should do that. I'm sure my channel certainly qualifies for it. A join button. Yeah, I could do that, I guess. Tarot readers have like 400,000. They have 400,000 subscribers. Tarot card readers. Can you believe it? There's some good tarot card readers out there, apparently, for 400,000 subscribers. Man, I'm struggling just to get back to my 12,000 I had before they deleted my first channel. Don't forget to subscribe, folks. If you like what you're seeing tonight, click the like button. Give us a thumbs up. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I will do that. I will look for that. I know that was another option on here, and I wasn't sure if there was really a demand for that, or if there was rather an interest for that. But I will definitely do that. And of course, we're on Patreon too, or you can go to thegoldfishreport.com, and there's a PayPal link there too to do a donation there as well. But Patreon, you can do that as well, whichever you're comfortable with, or super chats. That works really great. I do appreciate it. And I do appreciate everyone being here. And also, your opinions are always welcome here. This is a free speech platform, as long as it is not hateful. Okay, as long as we can be polite, which are also the rules that YouTube has as well. But everybody's opinion is welcome here, even if we disagree with you. You have the right to your opinion, and we respect that, even if you're wrong. Oh, and if you're right. But even if you're wrong, you can be allowed to be wrong. It's your opinion. But usually there's not too many people who are wrong who come on GoldFish Report. You're so awake and aware. That's what I really love about the viewers, is that you guys are awake and aware and you get it. And there's very little, new red pilling I have to do. I feel like I've done a lot of it already. Yeah. Really? Oh, yes. Oh, yep. Okay. Vishnave, I see what you're saying. I get your point. I don't know what, yeah. It's difficult. I'm sorry. I'm just commenting to what's going on in the live chat. And there's some comments going back and forth. I don't want to read them all because if you're watching this, you can see it too. But, you know, one day I'm going to talk about my story. I'm going to be crying my eyes out because it hurts to this day because it's still impacting me. I'm still under, I can't tell you like how, you wouldn't even believe that I could still be here and be so cheerful after what this court put me through. You would not even believe it. But I'm going to let you all know that I am still fighting. I am not rolling over and letting them do this to me and my children, me and my family, because it is so wrong. It is so, so incredibly corrupt that it would be against my soul to let them get away with what they did. So I can't do it. I can't let them get away with it. I will press on until they're held accountable for what they did. And in terms of, yeah, of course it's abusive. Absolutely it is, Vishnave. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Please give me a yes or tell me yes or no. Vishnave. Vishnave. That sounds like I'm pronouncing it correctly. You know, I don't know if it's an Indian name, but Indian names are sometimes very easy to tell. Okay, Field McConnell. I heard, folks, that he was in prison because he released classified information that he wasn't supposed to release. I don't know if that's the deal. I can't confirm it, but that's what I heard. Yeah. Yeah, I would believe it. Oh, yeah, I would believe it. And I know why I got blocked from re-registering in graduate school. I know. I know. Knowledge is power. You should, Vishnave, could you email me? Here's the email. I want to hear your story. Here. You know what, folks? I'm going to start talking about this, I think. This is how I'm going to do it. Vishnave, thank you, because you're giving me the inspiration to do this. If you have a family court disaster story or a good story, either way, that you want to share with me, and I won't use your name publicly, okay? I Please send it to the goldfish report at gmail.com. I'd like to hear your experiences. No, not everybody's as bad. Not everybody has a greedy spouse that wants to win at all costs and takes the scorched earth approach to divorce because they're scorned. You know, but there's some that do. And the lawyers love those. They love those spouses, especially when they're high earners. They can't resist. They can't resist the temptation of the salivation. They salivate at the sound. They salivate at the sound of cashola. What am I talking about? I'll do this really quick. I'm going to do this. I'm going to screen share what I'm talking about, how I know what I'm talking about. I'm going to share something for you that is a little bit painful. Uh-oh. What did I do? Oh, good heavens. I think I hope I didn't end my live stream. I'm so sorry. Okay, hold on. I just used the wrong one. Hold on a second. And now I'm going to screen share. I will share very quickly because I know we're going on for a while. And now it's not a POTUS report anymore. Now I'm kind of chit-chatting with everybody. But it kind of happens that way at the end of, it's the end of the week, Friday night. We're all kind of chit-chatting. It's okay. Where is that? Where is it? I have a clip. Maybe I'll just do it separately, okay? I won't do it today. I want to keep the POTUS report about POTUS. I will do a separate report, and when I hear from enough people on their family court stories, then I will share this, okay? I will do it that way. I definitely want to keep it separate. That's what I'll do. Still streaming. Yes, we are, Todd. you know, I did a photo shoot once with Peter Max. I was a makeup artist on this, and he said I had the gift of gab. So I think you can all confirm that. So I'm in the right business, I guess, right? Yeah. Okay. That's right, Adam. There is. Yeah, there's a lot. There's less there's less corrupt, less greed in some areas. There's a certain amount of greed. Why is it that humans can be so bought off? I don't understand why you don't feel like you're, going to be held accountable for that. I don't know. These people who commit these heinous crimes, uh you just can't, you know you're completely denying your own connection with God, because if you really knew you were directly connected to God because you're part of God, you have the God particle, the God spark inside of you, right? You have a direct connection. And, we're all going, it's about balancing karma. You see this behind me? That's the yin yang. Everybody knows it's all about the balancing of actions and energy in your life. So if you're going to take something away from somebody, then something will be taken away from you. I mean, it will eventually, it will, or you're going to come back and do it again, meet up. I don't know if that's going to continue happening with this change, these major changes that we're supposed to be having in this planet. I don't know, but we have to have the balancing of energy, you know, of actions. And so, yeah, absolutely. I love Jim Fetzer. You know what they did to Wolfgang Halbig? They're trying to institutionalize him. They're trying to arrest him. They did arrest him under false pretenses. They're trying to lock him up and put him in like a psychiatric facility. Jim may or may not talk about it tomorrow. I have to be careful because I don't want my channel getting deleted again. But yeah, I mean, anybody who disputes Sandy Hook is, they're going after them. They don't want that out. I don't know. I think most people, most of our viewers really have their own opinion. Well, it's not, you could call it karma, Moki7, but what it is a balance of energy. Is that's the principle of all things. Eventually everything there has to be a balance, right? Fetzer is very important, and we're having, it's probably why my first channel was deleted, because of what we were talking about. Well, I'm sure it's why it was deleted. Sorry, I have a piece of hair in my mouth. But you have to decide whether you stand for the truth, because who else will? There has to be channels willing to do that. There has to be people willing to take it on the chin, so to speak. No, it's not true, Robert. I mean, that might be what the Bible says, but that might be what the Bible says, but that's, this is where they distort religion and they adulterate it to fit extreme views, perverted views, because the Catholic Church worships Moloch, not not God, not the ultimate creator. Their God is Moloch. You'll learn, you'll find out. But I know you know that already. I mean, I'm not suggesting that you don't know. And Robert, yeah. I mean, Robert, I'm sorry, not Adam. Robert's the one I'm making the comment to. What kind of name is Sandy Hook? Well, there's a Sandy Hook, New Jersey, and it's actually a barrier island that is a hook, and it looks like a hook that comes out from New Jersey. So Sandy Hook it's called Sandy Hook because it's a sandy hook. But in terms of Connecticut, Sandy Hook, Connecticut, I don't know. I don't know if I can even say the word Sandy Hook. If I were to go to Sandy Hook, New Jersey tomorrow and report from Sandy Hook, New Jersey tomorrow, would I be deleted on YouTube? Well, would the video be banned, censored, or whatever? Very interesting. That's right, Adam, Moloch, and increasingly Baphomet. Exactly, Todd. I know. I agree with you. Let me tell you something. When I was in school and I was going to CCD, I was so stressed out by those Catholic nuns that I'm going to tell you, all I was waiting for was snack time. I just needed those cookies really bad because I needed comforting. I was so stressed out by the fear they were instilling in you as a child. I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Nothing happened to them, David Richards. Nothing happened to the ambassador and the White Dragons. When there's something new to report from them, I'll invite them back on if they have something new to share with us. Their previous, I don't know if you know, but we did one like what, 3 weeks ago. You might want to check that one out on our YouTube channel. So there was one that we did it about 3 weeks ago, I think. Yep. Oh, thanks, Vishnave. That's so nice of you to say. Really, Moki7? Which comments? I didn't see them. They weren't deleted by me. Maybe they weren't even posted. That's weird. Maybe they didn't even make it to being posted. But there's no other moderators on here. I'm the only one. So I didn't delete any of your comments, Moki7, just so you know. Right, David Richards. Okay, good. I'm glad you got that. Thank you, guys. I'm telling you, I have so much conviction behind what I'm doing. If you only really knew, but I will. I will do it. I will tell this story one of these days, but I want other people's story because it's not about me. It's just that no mother should ever, I don't ever want another mother or child to ever suffer at the hands of these barbaric, corrupted elements within our judiciary. And I'm not saying everybody in the judiciary is bad. I'm not saying that. But it's the luck of the draw. I mean, you don't know who you're going to get, who you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates, kind of. You know what I mean? I'm not quite sure what Moki7's referring to there, but yeah. Yeah, so folks, look, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I think I'm going to end it here because this turned out to be a 2-hour POTUS report. I might actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this the extended Chit Chat version, and I'm just going to, then I'm going to edit out just the reporting, the POTUS report, so you guys can watch. Just, for people who want to watch just the political report, you can do that too. But I was chit-chatting a little bit as well. Okay. A YouTube moderator held some, okay, Moki. Yeah, I guess you're not supposed to put, I think they were thinking you were putting a social security number in there, which you're not supposed to do. Yes, good night, Barbara. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. And it was deleted by a YouTube moderator. Interesting. I didn't know I had a YouTube moderator. Thought I was the moderator. Okay. Interesting. William, thank you for joining us. Vishnave, please tell me your story. Send me an email if you like. I'd like to hear it. I'd like to know what it was all about. Moki7, thank you. Tata. I know. Tata, Ben. Oh, man, you're not kidding. I know. Very, very true. Very true words, my friend. Very true words. Yeah, this was Yeah, most won't get the armchair chat. No, but I love chatting with you guys. I don't get to do this very. You know what? I never did live streams before because I was always when I announced them. I do. All of a sudden, my internet goes down or something strange happens. So, you have to kind of just catch me. But I'll try to, mostly do them in the evening so most people can benefit from them. Okay, thank you, Fishnave. That would be wonderful. I want to hear about your story. All right, Robert, I'm going to post this comment because that's your opinion, and or it could be fact, but I can't verify that. But you're allowed to say that, and I'm allowing it for sure. I'm meant to work to achieve the ability to give it all up. Not everyone can achieve that, as enlightened as I may be. I still love money. Well, you know what, Adam? We are on a planet that you need to have money to survive. You have to, you love what money can do, right? It can be a lot of fun. Money can be a lot of fun. I mean, you can have a lot of fun with money, um, and you can have a lot more freedom. It does allow for a different quality of life, a different kind of experience. Um, and so, you get a lot more, you do get a lot of other experiences out of life. It doesn't, just because you have a lot of money or make a lot of money certainly doesn't make you a better person. We can see that. Look at all the House Democrats. Look how rich they are from all the bribes they took. Come on, people. So we know, but that's okay. Thanks, Sherry. It was fun. I agree, Sherry. It was too much fun. It was so great having you all. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. I do appreciate it. Oh, you love my Chewbacca? Yeah, I usually play that when I have like an ET or something about ETs on the show, so it's really cool. Yeah. Why was it deleted? So just email it to me, guys. I don't know why. YouTube, see, this is interesting because it says something is held for review, but I don't even see it. Sherry, I like yours, but I'm not sure if I should post this. I think the person who you wrote it to is seeing it. So I'll just let it exactly, Moki. Money requires responsibility. You're absolutely right. It does. And thank you so much for everybody for coming by. I really appreciate it. Date night. I should call it date night instead of POTUS report. So you know what I'll do is I don't always get chatty people. I don't know. You guys are really a good group of people tonight. It's so really cool. So I would like to take Chewy to Iseti this July. Yeah, I know, right? I should go with my Chewbacca doll, definitely. So everybody, have a great weekend. Have a really great weekend. And I'll be with you. I'll be back tomorrow to do a political theater. So it's going to be like around noon Eastern time, Eastern Daylight Time. We'll be back tomorrow for a political theater with the Fets. So don't miss it, folks. If you're around noontime, we're going to go live, but it's all going to be posted. If you miss the live, it's no problem. It's all going to be uploaded and it's going to be there for whenever you get to it. So have a great weekend. Thank you, everybody, for that. The virus control, folks, I wouldn't get too worried about this. I think it's just a scare tactic. I think they're trying to request emergency money fund, things like that. Everybody just needs to use regular, it's winter time, so you need to use regular precautions regarding the flu, regarding, going into travel areas and, uh, you know, spreading germs and diseases. Just carry some sanitizer, wash your hands, don't touch your face. Look at me scratching my face like this. Like, oh my God, how am I going to avoid it? Right. So thank you so much. And Adam, thank you. Good night as well. Restful sleep. I really need restful sleep more than anything in this world right now. I really do. Guys, please pray for me that I get restful sleep. I could use it. And I'll be back, bright eyes and bushy tailed, for a political theater report tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thanks, Robert. It was wonderful. Thank you all for joining me. Have a great night. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much. So I'll have to just end it now. It's after 10 o'clock, guys. Come on. This was great. Yeah, vitamin C is great. And vitamin D is even better too, if you can get those supplements. Those are good too. So have a great night, everybody. This concludes this edition of the GoldFish Report. Thanks for viewing.